Hi guys, it's Karina and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be very laid back, very relaxed. I'm in my comfy chair right here, just chilling on a really big t-shirt because I just wanted to give you guys an update about what has changed. This part of the video, this update part, isn't going to be super long, but I did want to give you guys some apartment safety tips. If you guys didn't know what happened, I talked about it in my last update video. I will leave it linked right over here if you guys would like to see that. But if you guys don't want to watch that, or you guys are too lazy to, or anything like that, I will briefly describe what happened. So my last apartment that I was living in got broken into. I had about $12,000 worth of stuff stolen. When something like this happens to you, it's tough. And I get that it's not the worst thing in the world, but it just makes you feel very violated just thinking about the fact that somebody was in my apartment. It's kind of a weird feeling and also just a very scary feeling because if I was home, something could have happened. They could have hurt my dog if they wanted to, and it's just the fact that someone even had that opportunity is kind of scary. I don't want you guys to just see what happened to me and not do anything in your own life to prevent something like this from happening to you. So that is why I'm making this video. But very quickly, I just wanted to update you guys and say that I have moved. I moved out of that old apartment. You guys know that I mentioned that I could not stay in that apartment. I just didn't feel safe anymore. I realized how unsafe that apartment was, and I needed to get out. That apartment, to be honest with you, I thought it was perfect when I first moved in, and that is because I didn't think about it in a safety aspect. And now that I think about the safety of that apartment and how everything in the apartment was configured and everything like that, I just realized it was just so unsafe. And I wish somebody had given me tips on apartment safety before I even moved in. That is why I'm creating this video today, because I want you guys to learn from my experience. I don't want you guys to just see what happened and just feel bad about it. If any of the things that I tell you in this video and you guys do it and it prevents something happening to at least one of you guys, I feel like I've done my job. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video, and let's just get right into it. So the first tip is to get an upstairs apartment. And usually if you're gonna be in like LA or Seattle or just somewhere that has really like high-rise apartments, this doesn't really apply to you, but this is more towards the people who are interested in getting an outside apartment. When we originally moved in to the complex, we wanted an upstairs unit, not for the safety reasons, but because they have high ceilings. But we realized that if they had one of those available, this probably wouldn't have happened to us. When I'm telling you guys these tips, I want you to think about it in the thief's perspective. So when you're a thief, are you more likely to rob an apartment that's downstairs or upstairs, and why? In my opinion, I would rob a downstairs apartment because number one, it's easier to get things out of the apartment. Number two, you won't have to carry things downstairs. You won't have to be running back upstairs to go get more stuff. And number three, if I'm going to find an entry point to the apartment, when you're in a downstairs unit, you can easily just hop over the back fence to get to the back door. And in an upstairs apartment, there's not really a backyard. The only thing you have is a balcony if you have one, and those are definitely much harder to get into as opposed to one that's downstairs. It's just, in my opinion, a lot harder to get into an upstairs unit apartment, and it's a lot harder to transport things out of the apartment. Second thing is, try not to get an apartment with windows right next to doors. The way that they get in is they'll break a little hole into a window, and if there's a door right next to it, they're just gonna reach their hand in, unlock the door, and now they have the entire doorway to just get stuff out of the apartment, and it just makes it so easy as opposed to having a window somewhere else, and they'll either have to break down the entire door to get in and to transport stuff out, or they're gonna have to break open the entire window so they can get stuff in and out of that window. So that is why I don't think it's safe to have windows next to doors. Unfortunately, in my last apartment, we had two windows next to doors. So the first window was right next to the front door, and I realized after this whole thing happened that is not safe at all. The second window next to a door was in the backyard, which was a window right next to a sliding glass door, and that is how they got into the apartment. So the third tip is to put wooden dowels in your window tracks and also in your sliding glass door tracks. If I had done this in my last apartment, I'm pretty sure they would not have been able to get into my apartment. It would have prevented it because what they did was that they opened the window in the kitchen. Apparently that thing didn't latch. Number one, if I had a wooden dowel inside of that window, even though it didn't latch, they would not be able to slide it open because the wooden dowel is stopping it. So that was the first thing that I could have prevented. Number two, if they broke open the window to stick their hand inside of the glass sliding door, even if they unlatched that sliding door and tried to push it open, they wouldn't have been able to because I would have had a wooden dowel there. So wooden dowels are so cheap. You can literally get them at Home Depot. I think I got like a huge stick for like $1.25 and you just cut it to size, and they're so cheap and they would have prevented me from losing $12,000 worth of stuff. Unfortunately, this doesn't help situations where you have a door that latches next to a window because they could just break the window open and reach their hand in and just straight up open the door. The only thing that you can do there is if you get a door latch that needs a key on both sides. So let's say that they broke open the window and stuck their hand in to unlock the door, they wouldn't be able to unlatch it because they don't have the key from the inside. So the more things you have in your house to prevent something like this from happening, so like let's say the dowels, or if you don't have windows next to doors, it is more than likely that if somebody's trying to rob your house, they're gonna get either number one frustrated, or they're just gonna give up because there's just too many things getting in their way of getting into your house. So there are other ways that you can protect your apartment. I just told you guys the ones that you can think about before moving in. These cost little to nothing to protect yourself, and I just wanted to share those tips with you guys because not everybody has extra money to pay for an alarm system. Not everybody has extra money to pay for security cameras. And one more thing that I've learned is that when you are in an apartment complex, honestly, renter's insurance is not super expensive. I personally think now that this has happened to me, it was totally worth the money. We paid $125 for 12 months of renter's insurance, so it averages out to about $10 a month, and our plan covered up to $15,000 of stuff. It is so worth it. I've talked to people who are renting and they were just like, I need to get on renter's insurance because God forbid anything happens, at least you can get your material items back and all that kind of stuff. So that is it for this video. I really hope that it helped some of you guys. If you have any safety suggestions for either an apartment or a house, please leave them down in the comment section below. I'm sure that everybody watching this video could learn a little bit more about apartment safety and home safety because that stuff's important. And thank you for all the sweet comments in my last update video. I'm just so grateful that you guys are so supportive and you guys have just been trying to make me feel better, so I love you guys for that. I have a new video coming out tomorrow and it's a bonus video, so I cannot wait for that, and I think that's all I have to say. I love you guys and I will see you in my next video. Bye!